Recording.
All right. Hi, this is Tim Curtis with the town of Madison, and this video is for all the volunteers who are going to be helping to clean up the Bridge Cemetery in Madison over the next couple of weekends. First of all, thank you very much for your volunteer spirit. We really appreciate it. This video is a quick tour around the fence that runs the perimeter of this cemetery so that I can give you an idea of what we want removed if I'm not available on the days that you're working. First, behind me here, if you could get a shot of that fence. Our public works crew will be removing the fence at this point right here. So all of this is eventually going to be removed, and the dip in that road over there is going to be filled in. That may not be the case when you start, but that will certainly be the case as we finish this project. The goal here is to trim all the brush and small trees inside the perimeter of the fence. So we're going to do a quick walk through the perimeter. If I could just get you to get shots of it. Just walk this way. We want to cut everything that's on this side of the fence, or the inside of the fence. So first one you come to is this large group of trees right here. It's on the inside of the fence. We do want that to be cut down, and we'll eventually haul it away. So this is a yes, we want it cut down. Same situation here. All these trees, the part of this tree that's on the inside of the fence, cut it down. The same root system that's on the other side of the fence, go ahead and cut that down too. That's okay. It's okay with this property owner. Let's move down this way. All of this brush on this side of the fence can be cleared. Look right here, you see there's a break in the fence here, and there's some brush and broken branches there. If you can pull those out into this area and pile them up, we'll clean those up too. All this brush in here. Here's one of many groundhog holes. There are several of them in this cemetery. Please watch your step while you are working, because there are several holes that we're in the process of fixing this problem, but the gophers have been proved to be hard to catch at this point. Here's an example of a tree that's growing into the fence. We would want all of this to be cut right here. Where the tree is cutting into the fence, we would want all of those running right along the fence there. We're not going to get involved in what's on that side of the fence, but we are going to take these out. Another example where it's grown into the fence and that needs to be removed. Example of a brush pile that was started several years ago. We can certainly add to it, and we'll clean it up later.
Do you want that orange fence taken down?
Don't worry about the orange fence at this point. We'll leave that orange fence here. Highway can take care of that. You'll notice that this tree is marked. This tree is marked for the town tree warden. The town tree warden will hire somebody to take care of this tree. Even though it's in the cemetery property, we don't expect volunteers to tackle this tree. trees, we do not anticipate volunteers tackling these trees. Everything else is here as far as that. Here's another small example of a tree growing into the fence. That needs to be cut out. All of this. All of this needs to be cut out. Even though that tree has grown into the fence, again, the size of it and its placement, we don't expect volunteers to deal with that. All of this. You see trees about this size here and right over there. They are inside the fence line, and we would like them to be cut down. But if you can look back at this area here, if we could cut them down in such a way that they land here so that they don't disturb any of the gravestones. We're pretty close to some here. Lots of branches on the ground that can be picked up and stacked up as well. All of this is here. For any of you fans of Caddyshack from the 80s, you'll understand the trouble that gophers can cause. Watch your step here. Here's another tree. The base of it is actually outside the fence, but obviously it has an impact in the cemetery, so that one needs to be cut down. The nice thing is it's fairly clean of debris and litter, so that's a good thing. All this can be trimmed up back to the fence here. Now you'll notice right about here, it starts to dip off. And actually the fence goes down below the ridge. We don't anticipate anybody cutting below the ridge. So as we're clearing brush, don't necessarily follow this fence line. This fence may be moved at a later time, but just trim back to the ridge where it starts to drop off. So all this can be trimmed. Gopher hole. Maybe this is being redundant, but something this size can be trimmed, but obviously those large ones do not need to be touched back there. Stay along the ridge line here. Even though the fence comes to a point down there, we're not going to cut down there. We're going to stay along the ridge line right here. These small trees can be cut here. And that brings us to the first of several significantly large trees. If you could turn and kind of pan behind us, you'll see that we're in an area where we're pretty open here, so we can fell some fairly large trees. If there are volunteers that are willing and able to do this, you'll notice this tree over here is marked. That's supposed to be the letters OK, which means it's okay for you to cut. So this one right here is a large one we expect for volunteers to fell if they feel comfortable doing that. Just a few feet up is another one that, as you see, leans into the property. That one is marked okay to cut. These three here that are on the other side of the fence, we're going to leave alone. We're not going to cut these three. Continue to clear through here. Clear brush out. We've got another set of 3 trees. Due to the size and the placement of these trees, we're not going to touch these because they would either fall toward that house or toward some of the gravestones behind us, so we're going to leave those large trees. But small ones like this and that can be taken out. It's a fairly large tree, but again, because of the proximity of the house and the gravestones, we're not going to ask volunteers to touch that tree. But the small ones can be taken out. Clear everything up to the fence through here. We can clear out into the corner over here. Now we're on the home stretch. Clearing out here. These 3 trees are marked okay. We would imagine we'd have enough room to fell them right over here so they don't disturb any grave markers. So if we have volunteers that want to take these down, they can. Technically, this little bunch here is on the outside of the fence. We should remove it so we can straighten the fence back out.
What about those ones?
Same thing. Even though these are on the back side of the fence, they can be removed so we can straighten the fence back out. Once these trees are removed, the volunteer will need to remove this portion of the fence that is damaged and straighten this fence back out. Adhere it to this tree, so at least this portion can be straight. That's the plan. So you've seen this is quite an undertaking, and again, we don't expect it all to be done in one afternoon, but we certainly appreciate it. Other thing I'd like to point out is any of the volunteers who would like the wood, they are welcome to take the wood from any good-sized tree that they fell here. They're welcome to take it. I want to show you one more project part in the middle of the cemetery, and then we'll be done. This little cluster of trees has not been maintained for many years, so the road commissioner and I have decided to cut it all out. So if volunteers want to cut out all this and rake out all the brush below that, this is not dedicated to any one particular family. It's not a memorial tree. It's just an overgrown patch of trees that needs to be removed. Just as you move around this way, please watch your step. Go for a hole down here. This one almost got me this morning. Fairly deep, straight down hole right here. So please watch yourself as you're walking around this area. On behalf of the town of Madison, I want to thank you so much for your volunteerism. Please be safe and enjoy the day. Thanks.